Hello, good evening, lovely people. How are you? I hope you're well. It just seems like such a long time since I saw you last. It was only last week that I saw you, but still, I really miss you guys. So I hope you're well. If you're anywhere in the UK, hopefully you've really enjoyed the weather up to now. I know I have. Even though I haven't been out so much, obviously I've been indoors mainly, but still, stepping out to just go and grab some groceries, run a few errands, take the cat out for a bit of fresh air or anything. I've really enjoyed the lovely fresh air outdoors, outside. So I hope you have also managed to get some fresh air as well. I know in some areas in Iran, I think it's starting to get quite warm, if I'm not mistaken, and possibly in the States as well. I think it's starting to heat up in certain areas. My mum lives in California and she is not looking forward to summers there, excuse me. In fact, usually I know a lot of Brits who live in California and they plan their year so that they end up coming over to Europe, maybe the UK or anywhere in Europe, over July and August, which is the hottest years of summer because it just gets too hot. I mean, if you guys live over there around California or the hot areas of the States, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, right? It is getting hot, right? I've got Elnaz who says it is getting hot. Yeah, obviously it's getting hot, but I think hot is an adjective that is very subjective. So your hot might be very different to my hot, so it is definitely subjective. Saturday, the weather was lovely. Oh, what's this? Sorry. Saturday, the weather was lovely. Today, it was cloudy and a bit chilly. I agree. Saturday, it was really nice. And then it suddenly cooled down, hasn't it? Recently, yeah. Scorching, Elnaz says. Absolutely scorching. Oh my goodness. Do make sure that you keep yourself nice and cool, if you can, hydrated, cool and everything. Great. Right. Lovely to have you. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you've had a good week so far. So what we're going to be talking about today is one of my favorite topics. I really like talking about this, and it's called small talk. And one of the reasons why I really like talking about it, firstly, is because it's short and sweet. It's very short and sweet. I mean, the name suggests that it's very short because we talk about small talk. It's not a discussion. It's not a proper, fully blown out argument or anything that's quite lengthy. It's very short, small talk. So it's very short, very sweet. And also it's just so unpredictable. You never know what the other person's going to come back and say, right? Now, when do we usually engage in small talk? Small talk is when you bump into somebody. It might be your neighbor, it might just be a familiar face down at the corner shop. It might be your colleague, it might be relative, friend, absolutely anybody that you bump into. And usually you don't have time to sit down and have a proper, fully, from start to finish kind of conversation. You just pass each other basically as you're going about your business, and you just stand there, have a very short conversation. Can't even call it a conversation, very small or short chat, just to let the other person know what you've been doing, what you've been getting up to. Basically, that's basically what it is, small talk. And hi everyone. And excuse me, we engage in small talk absolutely anywhere, I guess. You can engage in small talk when you're at work. If you bump into somebody from a different department and you're meeting someone, let's say in the staircase, you're going upstairs, they're coming downstairs, for example. You might bump into someone in the lift. You might bump into someone in the canteen, when you go get your cup of coffee or go get something to eat, or there's a corner where they smoke, the smoker's corner. That's where you might bump into somebody. Or even if you're just going to the kitchen area of the workplace just to grab yourself, a drink or whatever. So again, even when you're at work, we definitely engage in small talk there as well. Excuse me. got a frog in my throat today. I do apologize. I've got a frog in my throat. I'm sure a lot of you have heard me use that before. Excuse me. So obviously at work, we engage in a lot of small talk, and the same goes with, you know, whenever you're outside. I went out today. I needed to go grab a few groceries for the kids' dinner. For this evening, I wanted to make them some pasta, which is one of their favorites. It's quite an easy dish, isn't it? Just throw some pasta on the gas, on the stove. Obviously, you don't throw it, but it's very easy to make, right? So I'd stepped out to just go and do some grocery shopping, and I'd put my shopping in the boot of the car, and I was about to get into the car to drive back home when I saw this old lady. Well, she wasn't very old, actually. I saw this elderly lady, you know, not too old. And I could see she was really struggling. She had 2 heavy bags. She was really struggling. And bless her, she was wearing a tracksuit, top and bottom. Tracksuit, top and bottom. Just asking you, what would you say tracksuit, top and bottom is in Farsi, please? Can someone help me? Tracksuit, top and bottom. How would you say this in Farsi? If anybody can help. Tracksuit, top and bottom. Salman, yes, someone who's a little bit elderly. Tracksuit, top and bottom. How do you say that in Farsi? Please slow speak. Sure. Hi Layli, thank you. Tracksuit, hoodie و شلوار. ست ورزشی. Okay. ست ورزشی. Top و شلوار. What is that? Yeah. Excuse me. So a tracksuit, top and bottom. Tracksuit is obviously what you wear to run track. Yeah, when you run track, which means you run around a large field, usually where they practice if they want to run. Hoodie و شلوار ورزشی. Okay. سرهمی. ست بلوز شلوار. Okay. So people have got different translations. That's fine. It's usually a tracksuit top and bottom is, I mean, you can get them in different sorts. The one that this lady was wearing, she was wearing waterproof jacket, and the same for trousers. But obviously it was, you know, plastic, so it was really warm, and you could tell she was very sorry about her choice of clothes when she came out today. So she must have come out of the house to go and do some shopping. And now that she was walking back with all the shopping, you know, walking back, she was very sorry about her choice of clothing, poor thing. Anyway, I just felt really sorry for her. And I know you're not supposed to just let anyone in your car, you know, if you don't know them. But she was an elderly lady. I thought, what's the worst thing that could happen? She looked really genuine. So I actually went up to her. I didn't want to scare her. Obviously, it's scary if you know you're quite an elderly lady and then someone just walks up to you. In the UK, it's quite scary, right? We don't usually do that. So I just walked up to her, obviously leaving a lot of space between myself and her, so she wouldn't think I'm trying to jump her or I'm trying to steal her things. And I said, excuse me, you know, if you've got a long walk back, if you're going in that direction, I live down there as well. I can give you a lift if you want, or I can drop you off somewhere on the way, you know. And at first she was like, oh, thank you, I don't want to trouble you. And I said, I don't mind, you know, I'm going that way anyway. If you want to, there's the car, we can go together. So she did. She took me up on my offer. That's the phrase that we use. She took me up on my offer. Yeah, so I offered to do something and she accepted. She took me up on my offer. She took me up on my offer. Excuse me. I offered to drive her maybe closer to where she needs to go or drop her off on the way. That's what I offered, and she accepted. She took me up on my offer. She got in the car, and now this is the point where you need to have small talk. Right? Because just imagine if you've been offered a lift by a stranger and you sit in that stranger's car, and if there's complete silence, right? between me, the driver, and you, who's, you know, just sat in my car, and we're driving, and if there's complete silence, that's going to feel very uncomfortable, very awkward. And the lady could very easily say, oh, I've changed my mind, can I get out? You know, it's going to be very uncomfortable. So this is one of those instances where you have to engage in small talk just to let the lady feel okay, off edge. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've got a very persistent frog in my throat. I've done a lot of talking today. That's why I do apologize. Excuse me. So this is where you really need to engage in small talk, you know, so it makes everybody feel comfortable, and she knows that I'm friendly. I'm not gonna, you know, do anything bad, kind of. So it's one of those instances where we can't escape it. We have to engage in small talk, basically. Which country are you living in? The UK. I'm in the UK, yes. And I've got Parinaz who answered. Thank you very much for that. Yes. It's totally okay. No need to apologize. Erfan, you're so kind. Thank you. It's all right. Don't worry at all. Thank you. You're very nice. Drink a glass of water. I don't actually have anything to hand. I don't have anything to hand, or else I would. But thank you very much. I'll have a drink once we finish this session. I don't want to interrupt the session. I don't have anything to hand near me right now. Yeah, I don't have anything to hand. So once I finish this session, yes, I'll go and drink. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Yes, so it was just one of those situations where you can't escape it. You have to engage in some kind of small talk. And yeah, so sometimes you can, you know, just walk away if you're in an open space. But sometimes when you're stuck in a car, then there's no escaping it. So yes, that's basically just a little introduction as to what small talk is and why it's so necessary. Now, I've done so many lessons on this. I did a whole lesson on small talk in one of my podcast sessions. Can't remember if it was podcast 1 or 2. One of the 2 series, I did a whole lesson on small talk. I've also done a whole lesson on just talking to people when you start your work shift. So, you know, English for work, I think it was the name of the course, that right at the beginning of your shift, it could be morning, afternoon, evening, whenever, when you start your job, you start working, and you just want to say hi, you know, to people around you, your fellow co-workers and your colleagues, before you actually start working. That very short amount of time that we get through the pleasantries, hi, how are you doing? What did you get up to? You know, even that can be considered short talk, small talk as well. Bump into someone in the supermarket or anything. So one question that usually I get asked is, Layla, if I want to engage in small talk, what do I talk about? Right? So that's usually one of the very, very most popular questions that I get asked. If I want to engage in small talk, what do I talk about? Some people have said, when we're waiting outside the gate of the school, for example, for our kids to get freed, for our kids to finish school and then we take them home, while we're waiting outside the school area, sometimes the parents gather, don't they? They get together. And you see some parents chatting sometimes, and then a lot of parents just stand there in silence. And then there are some people who actually want to talk, they just don't know what to say. Or, you know, any other situation you can think of. And what I always say, which is a good tip, is when you know you're about to leave the house, if you know you're about to leave the house, if you know you're about to come into contact with another human being, okay, if you know this is going to happen to you sometime today, you know, in the future, it's always a good idea to think, what's going on in my life that I would like to talk about with other people, right? Obviously, we're not talking about, you know, secrets and very, very important things, obviously not, but everybody has big things going on in their lives and also small little things, right? They can be very annoying things, they can be little problems, they can be good pieces of information that you'd like to share, spread some joy maybe, or you feel good about yourself and you want to share it. So everybody has so many things going on in their lives. And if you just pick one thing that you'd like to share with somebody else, that could be your topic for small talk. So you can start with that, and then you let the other person carry on, and they basically do the rest of the work for you. When they respond, then that's when the wheel starts turning, and it's much easier to respond to a question, isn't it? If you find it difficult to initiate and start a conversation, usually if someone asks you a question, it's a lot easier for you to answer, isn't it? Because you know exactly what to talk about, you know what to say. So if you want to start, a conversation, small talk or anything, if you can just have maybe one or two things at the back of your mind. What did I get up to today? What's new in my life? Talk about the weather. Obviously, that's always a winner. Is there anything that's happened? Is there any news that I have? These are the kind of things that we can share. So a couple of examples that I can give to you right now. You are a sociable person, isn't it? I try to be. I don't know. That's up to you, lovely people, to decide if I am sociable or not. I can't really say I'm a sociable person because that would be blowing my own trumpet. Yeah, blowing my own trumpet. That would be, I'm just going to write these down to put them in the caption. Yes, that would be blowing my own trumpet. When someone's really happy and very big-headed and a bit too happy about themselves, they think they're fantastic. They start talking about themselves in a very good way. Oh, I'm so good, I'm this, I'm that. That's called blowing your own trumpet, okay? In some cultures, it's really good. It's expected for people to blow their own trumpet. In the UK, it's seen as a very, very bad thing. It's seen as a weakness. It's seen as, if someone starts blowing their own trumpet and someone starts saying, I'm sociable, I'm really good at IT, I'm the best person who can help you when it comes to coding and programming and AI, and all the other people listening are going to think, wow, who do you think you are? Okay, so you're really good. You don't need to go around bragging about it. So unfortunately in the UK, it's not seen as a very good thing to start saying, lots and lots of positive things about yourself. There are other ways that we can say this, but for me to say I'm really sociable, unless I'm giving it as information, I don't want to be boasting and bragging. If I'm sharing this as information, then that's different. Yeah. You're just so lovely. Baratisimi. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Show off. Yeah, basically it's like a show. Table tu khali budan. Table tu khali budan. Table, I think, is drum. Is that right? I think it's like a drum. Table tu khali. So it's like somebody who keeps saying lots and lots of good things, but deep down inside, they don't have any of those characteristics. Is that what it means? Yeah. So it's the same in Iran. Yeah. Have you been in Tenby in the end of March? Tenby. I've never been to Tenby. No, sorry. Bluffing. So bluffing, Tamana. Hi, Tamana. Bluffing. There are Elnaz. Absolutely, yes. Bluffing is somebody who lies. Okay, so it's not actually the truth that they're saying or they're telling. They're actually lying about something. They're bluffing. Okay, and usually we use this a lot in poker games. Lots of people bluff in poker games or in other situations. So it's when people are not telling the truth. That's called a bluff. Or they do something and then luckily it is accepted, or they succeed, or it's pure by chance, pure by luck. That's also called bluff as well. Zarbul masal, proverb. Okay. تبل صدای بلند داره ولی داخلش خالیه. Thank you. Hania is saying something very important. If you want to apply for a job, for the interview, yeah, definitely. That is where you have to sell yourself. Yes. Looks like Hanya has taken my course, right? Which is speaking to, possibly. I had one of the lessons where I was teaching how to prepare for an interview. Yes, absolutely. You have to sell yourself if you're at a job interview. Yes, yes. Which country? UK. Okay. Maybe she says right, but it's not nice to say herself. Yeah, basically. I think more fit. Yeah. I think, yes, basically. So if somebody has got a good characteristic, a good personality trait, it's good for other people to talk about it, not that person themselves, if that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Very good. Lovely, lovely comments. When I see all these comments coming from you, lovely people, so you're either helping me with my Farsi, or you're answering questions, or you're sharing your opinion, it shows me that all of you are so focused in this session tonight, and you're here to learn. You're not here to mess about and, you know, waste time and start annoying people. You're actually here to learn. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Just makes it a lot more of a friendly and productive environment, doesn't it? I really appreciate it. Okay. How can you speak Persian? My father is Persian, and I'm very proud of that. I find your approach quite practical. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Could you help me about structure sentences? Yes. Structure sentences. Yes. I do have plans in the very near future for that. Yes. So check out my page. Not this week coming, the following week. Yeah. So not this Tuesday coming, the following Tuesday. Check it out, definitely. Very good. Good evening. Can I write a good CV? Of course you can. Yeah. You need to know what to put in it. Very good. I like to kiss you on your cheek. You really lovely. Elnaz, that's so kind of you. Thank you very much. That we don't usually say that in the English culture, but I understand that it means something very warm. It's very friendly. It's very warm. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. It tells me that, you know, you've got a very kind heart. Thank you. Thank you. What is your modern language? That's, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that question. I'm sorry. Anyway, if I can get back to the session. Let's say, for instance, you bump into a friend or family, colleague, neighbor, whatever, and you want to engage in small talk, right? So maybe you've only got 2-3 minutes, and you want to have a session, you want to have a very little chat. If you've done something that day and it wasn't very good, unfortunately, it was a mistake or a little accident or something like that, that's something we like to tell each other, isn't it? You know, we like to share good news, but we're not very quick to share good news with other people, because we do need to take into consideration, if something fantastic has happened to me and I'm sharing this with Mrs. X or Mr. X, maybe Mr. or Mrs. X haven't had a good day today. Maybe they've had a really bad day. And if I go showing off about, ooh, you know, I've had a fantastic day, that'll make them feel even worse. So we're not very quick. We're not very big about sharing really, really good news with everybody all the time. We don't want to make other people feel small and, you know, unfulfilled. So what we love to do, what we absolutely love to do, is share bad news. Very interesting, right? We like to share bad news. We like to share mistakes. We like to share accidents, mishaps, that kind of thing. It just shows that I'm human. I make mistakes, and I've had a really bad day, and I'm sure you're human as well. So if I've had a bad day, I'm talking about it. Hopefully you will feel comfortable to talk about your mistakes as well. Let's try and be here for each other, and let's try and help each other out as much as possible. Yeah. So we're very quick at sharing any kind of mishaps or, you know, accidents or whatever, but we're not so quick about sharing really, really good news, because we don't want to make the other person feel bad. That's basically it. We might weave it in, we might weave it in later on in a bit of a longer conversation, but not straight away. And if you have done something that's a mistake, you've done something that you're a bit embarrassed about, for example, just an example. Let's say this didn't really happen, but it's just an example. Let's say I took the car and as I was driving off the driveway, for example, I scraped the side of the car on somebody else's gate, for example, okay? So now this is something that's happened. And when I bump into you on the street, supermarket, bank, wherever, this is something I can share, right? And when I want to show you that you're not going to guess what I did, when I want to say something bad, you're not going to guess what I did. This is the structure we use. I only went and then we use the verb, whatever happened, whatever we did, right? So, oh, let's say Zainab. Hi, Zainab. Oh my God, you'll never guess what happened to me. I only went and then my verb, scraped the side of my car today. And that's when you say, oh my God, how did you manage that? What happened? And that starts a conversation. But it's a very short conversation. It's something that I'm okay with. I'm not crying over it, obviously. And hopefully, you'll make me feel a bit better. Yeah. You might say, well, it's a bad place to put a gate, or maybe you were, preoccupied. You would never say, oh, Layla, you're a terrible driver. We try to be there for each other. We try to make each other feel a bit better, right? I only went and scraped my car. Yeah, I only went and scraped my car. I've got another one here that I've written down. For example, if I see, let's see, who do I see? I see Irfan. Irfan, hi Irfan. Let's say, for example, I bump into Irfan at the bank, okay? And Irfan is behind me, let's say, and I'm standing in the queue. Irfan comes and joins the queue, and maybe he taps me on my shoulder. I turn around, oh, hi Irfan, hi. Nice to see you here. And he says, how are you doing? What's going on? This is where I will say, Irfan, I only went and lost my purse in the supermarket. That means you're not going to believe what I did. So we use it for negative things, mistakes, accidents, stuff that's happened that it's like, you're not going to believe what I did, right? So I only went and, for example, lost my purse. I only went and broke the key in the lock when I was trying to get in the door. I only went and broke the key in the lock while I was trying to get in the door. Yeah, it means I made this mistake, this accident happened. You won't believe this is what I did. ببین چیکار کردم، چه دست گلی به آب دادم. Basically that kind of thing, right? So that's when we use this structure. I only went and then we use it with a verb. Do have fun with this structure. Do have fun with it, because it's something that you can use. It's definitely cultural. It's one way of using it in the culture when we're talking about it. And when you share something like that about yourself, you automatically make people around you feel comfortable. They know that you are quite vulnerable and you're sharing maybe an accident or something that happened about you. So they will definitely try to either give you advice, give you tips, make you feel better, hopefully, try and help pick you up, right, for what's happened. There's one little thing I need to add. I know I'm going over time. I'm so sorry. There's one little thing I need to add. And that is, if you live in the UK, you will know already, we don't spend a lot of time showing a lot of emotion about negative things, okay? So I know in some countries, if you scrape the side of your car, that's it. It's such a big headache and, oh my God, what are we going to do? How are we going to fix it? It's a big problem. And it might occupy your mind. It's something that you tell everybody, and it's a big, big deal, right? In the UK, we try not to show too much emotion. If there's something that's happened like this, it's just a small thing, we try and make a joke out of it. We try and show we're not too serious about it, so then other people will feel relaxed as well. That's something that might help. Excuse me, I've got Artier. Have you got a kind of session for one-to-one speaking session? I'm teaching in the UK. I need a native speaker to become better. Well, first of all, well done to you for teaching. Very good. I don't know what you teach, but well done to you from one teacher to another. I unfortunately do not have any private sessions or one-to-one. I'm so sorry. My time is all consumed with creating courses. If I have time, a few videos and reels on Instagram. However, if the lovely Atiye, if you go on my Instagram page, you will see that there are some posts, not reels, there are some posts. And there is a lovely, lovely teacher who's on my team. Her name is Mahi. She teaches private lessons and she's really, really good. So she has left her contact details for you to contact her if you wanted any private sessions. Paria, I think this behavior is good. I don't know. I don't know. I hope so. That's the way we do it anyway. I know around the world we have this reputation. A lot of people think we don't have any emotions. A lot of people think, oh my God, Brits are so cold inside. You know, I know that's how a lot of people think about British people, but a lot of it is because we don't want to show a lot of emotion. Unfortunately, it is believed that showing too much emotion is a sign of weakness. I know, right? But that's the cultural thing. Is UK lousy with Indians? This Prospero 13, 13S, is that right? Is UK lousy with Indians? Lousy. Lousy, do you mean do Brits mistreat? That means not behave very nicely with Indians. Is that what you mean? Are UK lousy with Indians? I hope not. I truly hope not. I hope that Brits aren't lousy with anybody. That's just terrible. So hopefully not. I don't know. Is she British, Mahi? So she's not actually British, no, but she's lived outside of Iran for quite a few, I think minimum 15, 20 years. She's lived outside of Iran and she's been teaching a lot. So, okay, her pronunciation, she might not have a British accent, but her knowledge base is really good. I think she's studying to become a doctorate. She's studying for doctorate in her own field. She's studying for a PhD, so she's obviously more knowledgeable than me in her own field. And she's been teaching English for a very, very long time. If I did not trust people, I would not recommend them. Okay, yeah. In the UK, we try not to show too much emotion. Yeah. I only went and lost my bag. I only went and lost my bag. And this is where I would say, oh no, how did you manage that? Where? When? Are you okay for money? You know, are you okay? Obviously, taruf khali. Are you okay for money? Right? Prospero, I mean, UK is teeming with Indians. Swarming. Okay. I don't know how to answer that question in a correct way. Okay, I want to try and be politically correct about this. We have all different I don't know if you yourself live in the UK or not, but we have obviously all different nationalities. And I think nowadays in Europe, you find lots and lots of countries that have lots of nationalities, you know. I know that there are some pockets, some areas of the country where there might be more Indians. There might be more Pakistanis, there might be more Arab speakers, more Iranians, there might be more Chinese. You know, there are certain pockets where there are more of a certain nationality, but I wouldn't say that it's swarming. No, swarming isn't actually quite a nice way of putting it, is it? Yeah. Okay. I live in Leeds, Hania. I think your accent is so easier than West Yorkshire accent. People make me confused when, yes. So West Yorkshire accent, yes. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, my accent isn't the best. I have had to train on my accent very much. I have had to train my accent a lot because this is my job. Obviously, this is my form of income. This is my job. People trust me to teach them a language, so they need to understand what I'm saying. Normal native speakers, because they have never experienced learning another language themselves, they just think the way they say it is correct, unfortunately. And I've seen so many times, they will say something, they will say an idiom, for example, and someone who is from a different country will not know what that idiom means, so they'll go quiet. And then unfortunately, the native Brit speaker will think that person is deaf, so they'll actually raise their voice. That's not the problem. It's not that he or she can't hear you. The problem is that they just don't know what the meaning of this idiom is, so they don't know how to respond, right? So yes, they do have their own accents and everything. Yeah, okay. So B Mars 8312. Hi teacher, hello. Have a nice day, thank you. What are your standards for learning and what are your plans for successful learning? What are my standards for learning? You mean for myself or for students? I'm not sure what you mean. What are your standards for learning and what are your plans for successful learning? Do you mean learning or teaching? Firstly, I'm not sure which one you mean. If you mean teaching, what are your standards for teaching? When it comes to, I'm going over now. When it comes to teaching, first and foremost, I like to have a friendly rapport, a very graceful, very respectful relationship with my students. That's the one most important thing, I think. And then when I start teaching, first of all, it has to be something that the students can use, not just exercises out of a book. It has to be practical. And also when I create a lesson, I start thinking backwards. So I think to myself at the end of the lesson, what should the student be able to do? What is the final aim and goal of this lesson? Okay, so in order to achieve that, what do I need to teach them? In order to learn that, what do I need to teach them before? So I work backwards, if that makes sense. Instead of going to a book, which is what a lot of teachers do. I don't like using books because in my opinion, you can't learn speaking from a book. Sorry. You can learn writing from a book very well. You can learn reading from a book. You can't learn speaking and listening from a book. Sorry. Listening, you can learn from podcasts and, you know, speaking to other people and listening. And speaking, you learn from other people as well. And also from podcasts. You can learn vocabulary, you can learn grammar. You can't learn speaking, in my opinion, from books. So I would like to teach them something that they can use in their daily life. I hope I've answered your question. Mas Samsami, hello, can you please explain the difference between effect and effect? Okay, so effect with an E is the noun, yeah? Effect with an E is the noun. So basically like asar. Effect with an A is the verb. This cream affects my skin. So that's the verb. Tasir gozashtan, it's the verb. Yeah, the difference between the two. Yes, we are very particular about time. Yes, we are. I've learnt Spanish only speaking with my Colombian neighbours, Said. There you go. This lovely friend of ours, Said Bayat, yeah. Spanish, I'm guessing you might live in the States, maybe, I don't know. But yes, you learn speaking from speaking. You learn writing from writing. You learn reading from reading other books. Absolutely. I'm just so against teaching speaking from books. I mean, you do need books. Yeah, you do need to teach vocabulary, grammar, all that kind of thing. But speaking in general, once you've learned those little grammar rules, then you have to just put the book away and you have to let the student just exercise those muscles, just exercise whatever they've learned and speak. Yeah, that's the only way we learn. Unfortunately, there's no magic pill. I wish there was. Last one, because I really need to go and I need to let you guys go as well. Some medical idioms. I am not qualified to talk about medical idioms. I'm so sorry. I obviously I'm not a medical professional, so I wouldn't know what kind of idioms they would use in medicine. Sorry. Tina Ho 25. I'm teaching at high school, but I have a PhD in maths. Wow, very brainy, right? Is that okay if I say to my colleagues that I have a PhD or not nice? Okay, so if it comes up, Tina, if it comes up, you know, people are talking about, do you have a doctorate? Do you have a master's? Do you have a degree? It's fine, yeah, if you want to say, well, yeah, I have a PhD, as long as it doesn't come across اینطور برداشت نشه. As long as it doesn't come across that, for example, you're bragging, you know, nobody, I don't think anywhere in the world, we don't like braggers, do we? So as long as it's just information, I think if it's said in the right way and in the right tone, people around you will really, really respect you very much. Because, yeah, the UK, unfortunately, in schools, I'm sure you might have experienced this yourself. In schools right now, unfortunately, there is not a very strong, not a very good maths presence in schools. So a lot of students, they either fail maths or they get a very low mark. Very, very weak. The maths of the country is very weak right now because of the current education system. So for people to hear that you have a PhD in maths, woo, if it's said in the right way, if it's just said as information and it's not like you're bragging, then that is something everybody will remember and they will definitely respect you for it very much. Yeah. Lucky you. Very good. Excuse me. Are you going to save this live video? I think it'll be quite useful for others. Yes, I am. So all of my videos, all of my lives, I save on my phone, which is why they're all saved in portrait and not landscape. And they will be saved on YouTube where everybody can see. Okay. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I'm so sorry I went over again. I'll try not to next time. I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Thank you again for engaging with me so nicely. This is such a lovely, lovely community of Iranians wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining, for taking part, your lovely questions, your very, very interesting, very useful and thoughtful comments. And also when you help me as well, I really appreciate it. I hope these few little tidbits, I hope these few little tidbits that I shared with you today come in handy and you get to use them, hopefully. Okay. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a very productive week. Enjoy the sun while it lasts in the UK. And I hope to see you again next weekend. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a good evening.